Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches Poetry. This video is going to take a look at Fleur Adcock's Stewart Island. I'm going to take you through the content of the poem, key contextual factors, and then just finish up with some descriptions about the poem's form. Do look out for my next video where we will be analysing 5 key quotes. But for now, let's get started. Okay, so what is this poem all about? The narrator of the poem Stewart Island is recounting a holiday that she's had in this very popular tourist destination in New Zealand, but she is very, very unhappy. So the poem starts with a conversation with the hotel manager's wife about how beautiful the place is, and then brings in a little bit of gossip about how the hotel manager's wife ran off with one of the Maori fishermen, and she then recalls some of the activities that she did and how they were spoilt before telling us that she was planning on leaving the country. It's quite a sort of tongue-in-cheek poem, but it does speak of some of Fleur Adcock's experiences. So Fleur Adcock was born in 1934. She's still around now. She moved to the UK when she was aged 5, but then had to return to New Zealand, and she was never really happy there. She was most happy when she was living in the UK. She had 2 very unhappy marriages. The first marriage wasn't successful, and then the second marriage ended up being quite physically abusive, and it was at the end of the second marriage that she was able to get herself back to the UK, where she then went on to live. The only other bit of contextual information you probably need to know is that Stewart Island belongs to New Zealand. It's the 3rd largest island in New Zealand. It's meant to be very, very beautiful, and like I said before, quite a popular tourist destination. Here is the poem in front of you. I'm just going to give you a couple of keywords to help you describe the form of the poem, always very important to your analysis. You can see immediately that it is in free verse, i.e. there's no specific meter or rhyme scheme. You'll also notice that the poem kind of breaks some of the conventions by using dialogue. In fact, it opens with dialogue. There is a lot of enjambment running through the poem, and multiple moments of caesura, splitting up lines. You can see one there, one there as well. So the question, of course, has to be why all of this use of enjambment, caesura, and I think it is really to do with the narrative style. It almost feels like it should be read as a story, as an experience, rather than as a poem. You could also mention the fact that because she's quite unhappy, because the narrator of this poem is quite angry, the use of free verse with the enjambment, the caesura, means that it can be read at quite pace, perhaps suggesting it's almost sort of rant-like in tone. And she uses the enjambment and the caesura to kind of play around with emphasis, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in my next video when we're analysing some key quotes. That's it for this particular video on Stewart Island. Hope that was helpful. Do look out for the next video of the series. Be ready with your flashcards because I'll be doing key quotes and the main points of analysis. So great for your revision. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you to those of you who have. Otherwise, that's all. Thank you very much. Happy revising.